I grew up in Florida. My mom's a graphic designer, so I spent my growing up being exposed to the arts and visual images. And when I was a teenager, I got interested in photography. My dad got me a darkroom set up and an enlarger. So I spent a lot of time in the magic of the darkroom watching things emerge. You know, one of the big takeaways from going to the LA Film School for me was the hands-on aspect of the school, how you can get your hands on equipment right away. You don't have to wait until you're a junior or senior. Lots of great teachers who you can just ask all your dumb questions to, and they're there and they'll answer them. It's like having like an encyclopedia of great people to talk to at your fingertips, and they're just available. While I was in school, I started working in an internship in a production company. One of my instructors mentioned that there was going to be an internship and would I be interested, and I said absolutely. So I was working there, and while I was there I met the head of the company, and he ended up needing an assistant. So because I'm really organized, I thought that I was going to probably get into producing. So that's the direction I was headed toward the end of my graduating kind of time. So I think a month before I graduated, I got a job as this producer's assistant for the head of this production company. I really didn't realize it at the time, but I didn't really want to be a film producer at that time, and I didn't recognize that at first. So when a friend of mine who's a photographer, very successful portrait photographer in Hollywood, asked me if I wanted to help run his studio for him, I was like, okay, let's give it a shot. And it was great for me to learn about the business of photography, the business working with clients, writing contracts, dealing with people, and then all the technical stuff. How to, when you work with somebody who really knows, rather than having to learn everything on your own, you kind of jump ahead by leaps and bounds, because all of a sudden you just kind of get the best practices, the best way to do things. I actually didn't realize that photography would be something that would suit me so well and that I would love so much. There's the technical aspect of it, the gear and putting things together and figuring things out, and I love that. And then there's the visual creative aspect, which of course I love. And then there's dealing and working with people, working with clients and being around people and helping tell stories. My very first break as a freelance photographer was I got to photograph this big award ceremony for the Visual Effects Society, and they're honoring different people in the entertainment industry, and the main honoree that year happened to be Steven Spielberg. So having somebody of his caliber in my portfolio, we photographed him at that event, getting his award, and I happened to get a really great shot of him looking right at the camera. I didn't yell or anything, I just waited till he was ready, and he looked right at me, and I just took the picture. And that shot helped me kind of parlay it and roll it into positioning me as a photographer who was cool. I try to keep my business moving. I try to keep it evolving. And for me, as a working photographer, my job is to find out what my clients need and want and to help them get it, help them express their vision. And then when I do personal work, that's my sandbox and my playtime. And sometimes that personal work is so awesome that my clients see it and they go, oh, I want it to look like that, which is a cool way to kind of feed itself. One of the things I'm proudest about is having repeat clients. There's, to me, is nothing more satisfying than having somebody who really just wants you back again and again. It's like you're building actual friendships. I guess what really drives me is I love that human connection. I love learning about people and what's important to them and what they love. And when, as a photographer, I'm right there with them. So I get to kind of, sometimes I'm the only person there who isn't really part of their club, So I get to kind of learn about what's going on in their world. That to me is, I love it.